morning, everybody. Thank you for in this press conference with us. My name is Yoconda Arguello Klein, and I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the Culinary Union Local 226, the Culinary Union Local 226, and the Bartenders 165. We've been very concerned before the reopening. We are very, very concerned before the reopening about the health and safety of the workers and their families. We sent the health safety guideline to the Gaming Control Board to implement these requirements and implementing a mandatory way. We let them know the Clark County Commission. They're very aware what we're asking for. And we have been letting know the governor about this situation when, the workers gonna go back to work. We want to be very safe. And that's why the Culinary Union, we send this health safety guideline to protect all the workers and the families. Now, we've been, very vocal, I think, in every single news saying, doing a lot of interview for the leaders of the state, listen to us and listen the community. But today, the Culinary Union has, we're gonna put a lawsuit against the Las Vegas strip companies to protect these workers and protect their families. From March 1st, 2020, very sad, for all us, because we feel like the culinary workers and all the people here in Las Vegas, all the hospitality industry, right? We feel like they are in a very tough situation. And we lost the culinary workers right now. We lost 19 members and their families. This is very, very sad situation. Because I remember when the governor spoke the last time and he said we lost 12, it was on one of the national news and say we lost 12 our brothers and sisters of the Culinary Union. Well, right now we had 19. It's been increasing the numbers, and that's why we've been taking these steps. We've been fighting from day one, before the reopening, to trying to the leaders of the state, taking care of the entire state to all the hospitality industry. But now the Culinary Union, we're doing this lawsuit to the Las Vegas Strip Company. And we're suing them because they've been having hazardous working conditions for these workers. And we feel like they are not protecting right now. This lawsuit, we have allegations against companies because we know they've been doing things where they're not protecting the workers to spread the COVID and not protecting their families. It's been very difficult because the allegations we have allegations to different companies. And the allegations we have allegation against the Signature, that's the NGN grant. We have allegations with Sadeles Cafe at the Bellagio, and we have allegation for the Guy Fieri at the Harrah's, that's the Cesar Entertainment. Situation is very difficult for these workers, very, very difficult. The Culinary Union right now, we're making an effort, to fight this, to protect these workers and their family, but we will continue to getting statements and evidence for another properties, if the situation isn't that way. Now, since the reopening, we have allegations against the NGN grant and allegations against Adele and allegations against the Guy Fieri restaurants. They've been adopting unreasonable rules and process in there. They've been adopting these rules and they don't been take care to spread the COVID-19. And that's what the workers, they've been letting us they not shoot down the areas, and they don't shoot down the areas where the workers was, and where they found out they have a COVID-19 positive person working in the area. That had to be immediately. If you have somebody where it's been positive, why are we going to risking the rest of the workers to get infected, and not only the workers, their families too. They've been failing to conduct an adequate contact tracing. When one person have COVID right away, we need to inform the people that was around that person and identify the person, because that is not only the worker, it's the workers and their families where we feeling they being completely failed. They've been failing to inform the employees if one of the co-workers capacity, what is, what they saying this person is capacity among the others, and explaining to everybody this person is being positive. They've been failing to give it the information about the COVID-19. They've been giving false information about the COVID-19 and about the symptoms. That's why, we feel right now we're doing everything. We're putting all our effort to protect these workers and protect their families. They only been thinking and continue have the workers working and making the revenues. And this is something where, all these allegations we have, that's where we decide to go court. These unreasonable rules we have, and the signature at the NGN Grand, at the Sadel's, Cafe at the Bellagio, and the Guy Fieri restaurants, we feel right now they really been putting the workers at risk, and not only the workers, their families too. We know they've been failing in all this, and that's what I was doing this lawsuit, because we believe failing their health and safety for the workers, they putting in risk not only them, they putting in risk the workers, the families, and the community. And the people they live with them and share the resident, because some people they have roommates, some people they share resident with another people. So this is completely unacceptable, and we're fighting this, and we will continue fighting this, because we know they completely violate the bargaining. We have a contract with them, and that they're supposed to be to protect the worker for any hazardous situation. And right now we have a law, and this lawsuit violates the collective bargaining agreement, what we're doing. Now, we know we have situation at the Sadel Cafe where people, they was working after have somebody positive and not have any social distance. And when they open in June 4, customers, they know was wearing masks, and when they was working very, very close with all the people they working in there, for servers, hostess, and exposing, and then we have somebody positive and no social distance, keeping working right there in the area for and don't let it know the workers in there that happen, and don't close the place immediately. When they have a case like that, the COVID-19, they had to close the place, shut down the place, and clean it right away to protect the workers in there, and workers and their families too. That's why we're doing this lawsuit. And we're not gonna stop fighting this situation, because right now, Culinary Workers Union, we are the largest immigrant organization here in Nevada. 43% of the COVID-19 is being in the Latino community. We know the Latino community and the African-American community, they've been hit by this. We continues fighting. We feel for these workers every single day, because they had to go work, and they is extremely high stress to make a decision in the morning. because the company's been designed to follow the rules and procedures where they are completely in hazardous, putting in hazardous condition, the working condition. And that's why we filed this lawsuit. We have these allegations, and we're going to continue fighting this. Now we're going to court to fight in these cases. And this is not going to be the ending. We're going to continue to getting statements and evidence for situations like this happening in the rest of the casinos. Thank you.
Thank you, Gio. And so next we have Sixto Zermeno, a bellman at the Signature at the MGM Grand, and he's worked there for 10 years.
Hello, my name is Cesar Zermeno. I'm a bellman at the MGM Signature. At the Signature at the MGM Grand. I've been working there for 10 years. When I was called back to work, I was called to show up one day before my training day. So I had to go to work the next day. I was never asked to take a test to go to work. Unfortunately, I thought that was going to happen. We were supposed to take a test. I worked 3 shifts, completely short-staffed, no social distancing between guests. The guests weren't wearing any mask. We were so short-staffed that the amount of work was, it was intense, and social distancing was just not possible. After my 3rd shift on June 10th, I woke up. It was a graveyard shift that I worked. Prior to that, I woke up with a mild headache. Felt, so I'd rather take a nap to see how I processed after that, see how I felt. I woke up with a really bad fever, body aches, the worst headache I ever had. It was just extreme. I knew then something was wrong. Took it upon myself to go to get tested. Got tested. Then next day on the 11th, I got my positive test, and I didn't know what to do at that point because the company never really explained what to do if somebody tested positive. So I tried calling my upper manager, my main manager for my department, and there was no answer. So I tried calling a different manager from a different department, and I was able to get a hold of the manager from a different department, and they gave me, transferred me to a general manager, which I spoke with her. She also did not know what or who to call, what's the steps to do after that. So she gave me the number for a virtual roster, which is a third-party company that does the scheduling for the MGM. Called them. They asked me why I called them, because that's not their department. So they put me on hold. They gave me a number for corporate, and that's when I called corporate. And there was no answer at first, and then they gave me a call back. And then that's when I was able to process and give them the information that I was positive. And I told them who I came in contact with, coworkers wise. They didn't ask many questions other than they wanted the positive results for COVID-19. So I gave them the positive test. After that, I haven't heard anything from the company. It's been, I believe, 18 days that I haven't heard from corporate. Far as I'm aware of, that they didn't. All the coworkers that I worked with continued to work. They weren't sent to get tested after they knew that I was positive. So it's been 3 months. It was 3 months that we did social distancing, that we did a lockdown in Las Vegas. All those 3 months, I made sure I cleaned myself, washed my hands, hand sanitized, and I go back to work 3 days later. I'm sick on the 4th day. There was the proper procedures. There's not enough time to clean, so short-staffed that we were. I live with my parents and my brother, and it's been extremely difficult for me to, I've been pretty much locked in my room. And it's hard because, you know, my parents have both diabetic, they're both elderly. I haven't seen my 9-year-old daughter. It's going to be a month already. And it hurts me because I haven't seen her in such a long time. And I miss her. And I'm still testing positive. And, you know, I tested positive since the 11th. So I haven't seen her for that long. Sorry. I'm just fighting to make sure the companies follow the proper steps. Make sure that, you know, we're not just numbers, we're families also. We're human, and I just want them to care, honestly. And then they're putting their workers and they're putting families at risk, and it's been a difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sixto. Next, we have Eric Weininger, who is a cook at Guy Fieri, and he's been there for 6 years.
Good morning. My name is Eric Weininger. I'm a cook at Guy Fieri's Vegas. Been there for 6 years. I came in contact with a coworker who was tested positive for the COVID-19, and things were not handled properly, or at least not to my expectations as I thought that the testings would be. Once we found out that we were in contact with a person, we told the managers about it. The managers then did like a little manager huddle out in the lobby of our kitchen, and then we took it to the chef's office. My chef then told me if I received a call to let me know what's going on, to wait by the phone. Well, I didn't receive that call, and he told me to come in the next morning if I didn't receive that call. This morning, and I said yes to the COVID-19 questions without being the question. Me and 4 others said yes to the question, and the security officer at the time said, "Oh, you guys are from Guy Fieri's. I'm gonna need you to stand over here, 6 feet apart." Then he took us outside to wait longer because their managers were still in a meeting. It was then that the head of security, the assistant of security, and I do believe he was the head of HR, approached us. The assistant of security then said, "So I see you guys said yes to the question of contact. Were you guys 6 feet apart for more than 10 minutes with your mask on with said person?" We said yes. He goes, "Well, from the looks of you guys look well enough to work. So if you guys want to go back to work, now if you're still ready, if you still feel concerned, then the HR rep will take your names and contact you guys later on today." So we all went home. About an hour later, I get a call from my chef asking if I wanted a position for nighttime for the next couple of days because they weren't going to open for daytime. He asked me if I would be comfortable with that. I said no, because I haven't had my test yet. The way they handled everything, as soon as they found out about the person testing positive, it seemed like a nonchalant act. Like everybody was blasé about it. So I'm sharing my story today because I have a son who with autism and asthma, and I live with my grandmother-in-law who I take care of. I am concerned of bringing it home to my family, and I love my job. I don't want anything to happen to me, my coworkers, my bosses. I just want procedures to be done, protocols. The way Cesar's handled it is truly disgusting, and I believe they can do better.
Thank you, Eric. Next, we have Jonathan Munoz. Jonathan is a food server at Guy Fieri's at Harrah's, which is a Caesars Entertainment Corporation property, at the Link for 6 years. You have to unmute yourself. Let's see.
I'm ready. Hello, my name is Jonathan Munoz. I work over at Guy Fieri's at the Harris at the Link. I've been there for about 6 years. When we got called back to we were not required to get tested. After a week opening, one of my coworkers tested positive. I took it upon myself to go get tested. No one told me to be tested. I'm still waiting for the results. It's been almost a week. I'm very concerned about having worked with a coworker tested positive. My wife works at the same restaurant as me. She has a very compromised immune system. We have little ones at home. We have 5 to be exact. I have children between the ages of 3 to 15. I'm very concerned about their well-being. My family and I did everything to follow social distancing. We followed the strict protocol for 3 months. And now I come to work where the company breaks protocol within a week. It's very disheartening. I feel the company doesn't care about my life or my kids. I want to ask Cesar's, are you going to take care of my kids if something happens to me, if I get sick? I'm fighting for my coworkers, my family, for us to be healthy. I want the companies to treat us like humans and not like machines that only make money for them. I'm fighting for respect for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. So Gio, I don't know if you have any closing remarks.
Yes, right now, the Culinary Local 226, we have this lawsuit against the Signature NGN Grand, against the Sadel's Cafe, what is the Bellagio, is the NGN Resorts, and Guy Fieri's, what is the Harrah's, and is Cesar Entertainment. The Culinary Union, we're gonna go and fight everything. And today we have these 3 casinos and hotels we have in this lawsuit, but are we collecting statements, and we're gonna collect evidence for anything go wrong, like what they doing right now with these allegations we have. We're gonna go court. They violate our bargaining collecting agreement to put these workers in this certain situation, working condition, and not only the workers, they put in their families and they put in the community. And we're going to continue fighting this because this is a COVID-19, the health situation affecting your health is a long-term illness, really, with affecting your health, and people can pass away. Right now, we feel like we're going to do whatever we need to do to protect these workers, these families, and this community.
Thank you. And next we have Irma Fernandez, who is not part of the current lawsuit. So Irma, if you want to unmute yourself, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Irma Fernandez, and I am the daughter of Adolfo Fernandez, who was an employee at Caesar's Palace in the housekeeping department and as a utility porter. My father was an amazing, hardworking man. He was strong and healthy. Even if he had high blood pressure, that didn't stop him from showing up to work and trying his best. He was such a happy, big-hearted person, human being, a great human being. Before he went to work, he did get a test, and it showed negative. My father will constantly tell me every day, I know I'm gonna get sick at work. I just know it. The company is not keeping us safe. It does not have the correct safety protocols for each employee. He would constantly tell me how stressed out he was, and I can just see it in his face. He would call me on his break time and tell me about what was going on and how he was feeling. He would say that he didn't want to go back to work, but he had no choice. He needed to financially support his family. When he came home from work, he would go straight to his bedroom and go to sleep. At that point, I knew something was wrong with my dad because he wasn't that type of person. I don't know why Cesars were trained their managers and supervisors to be so careless and heartless. When will they realize that their workers are at risk every day? We have families just like managers have families as well. But now my family and I are mourning my dad's death. He asked for help. He could barely push his cart the last day he went to work. He had body aches, and he advised his manager about it. And their response was, okay, go home and take a point. Or ask. But he didn't, because he's a hardworking man. So he turned around and went back to work. He finished his shift, but when he came home, he went straight to bed. And in the middle of the night, we all saw that he had a fever. My dad always fought for justice for him, his coworkers, to be respected and taken care of. But now his life was taken away. And now he's in heaven. During the last 3 days of his life, all he could think about was his job. That he needs to fight for justice for everyone, not just for himself. Because he always put everyone in front of him. And that's why I'm here. Because I want to be the voice of my dad, not only in memory of my father, but for everyone who's at risk, who has families, who needs to take care of their parents or their children. I want to fight for justice, for a better safety precaution plan for every single worker in the casino industry, not just in Cesar's Palace. And that's what I'm fighting for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Irma. If folks can put questions in the Q&A, I'll start with what's there. I have put the list, the speaker list names and spellings in the chat. So let's see here. The first one is, okay. I'm getting some requests for folks to share briefly in Spanish what you can. So those of you who can speak Spanish, if you're able to summarize your statement, starting with Gio in Spanish, and then we'll go from there.
Bueno, estamos aquí hoy. Nosotros desde antes que abrieran los casinos hemos estado luchando fuertemente para que la seguridad y la salud de los trabajadores que iban a trabajar dentro de todos los hospitality industry, union, no union, tuvieran protecciones. Nosotros les mandamos todas estas requerimientos para proteger la salud de todas las personas y que al Gaming Control Board. Le mandamos todos los requerimientos que fueran mandatorios para proteger la salud de los trabajadores adentro. Que se siguieran esas reglas. Le dejamos saber al Gaming Control Board que necesitábamos tener algo mandatorio para todos los trabajadores aquí en la industria hospitalaria. Le hemos pedido al gobernador, le hemos dicho al gobernador muchas veces de que necesitamos tener mandatorios requerimientos para proteger la salud y la seguridad de los trabajadores y su familia antes que regresaran a trabajar. Nosotros hoy lo que hicimos, vamos a ir a corte y estamos poniendo alegaciones legales contra compañías que están en la strip. Y estamos haciendo eso porque nosotros sabemos que desde el 1 de marzo hasta el día de hoy hemos perdido 19 hermanos, hermanas y también miembros de su familia. Es una situación muy dolorosa para todas las familias. Y por eso hemos decidido, nosotros hemos tratado, hemos peleado, hemos luchado con todos los líderes estatales de aquí, del estado, que le pongan a estos requerimientos mandatorios. Ahora nuestra unión dijo, vamos a poner un lawsuit con todas estas alegaciones que hemos conseguido, evidencias y statements contra a las compañías. Y estamos poniendo alegaciones contra un lawsuit en contra de Signature, que está en el NGN Grant, y estamos poniéndole en contra de Cesar Café, que está dentro del Velacho, que es del NGN Resource, y estamos poniendo también en contra a este caso, que vamos a ir a corte, al Guy Fieri, al restaurante que está en el Jarras, que es del Cesar Entertainment. Porque ellos no han seguido, ellos han puesto unas regulaciones y unos procedimientos que han puesto en condiciones bien en riesgo a los trabajadores adentro con esta situación del COVID. Ellos no han seguido estos procedimientos de proteger al trabajador para que no se contamine el trabajador. No les han dicho a los trabajadores cuando una persona está contaminada, dejarles saber y quiénes son los trabajadores que están cerca de esa persona, con quién se contactó. Les han dado una información falsa acerca del COVID y también de los síntomas que es el COVID. Lo único que le ha interesado a esta compañía es seguir manteniendo a los trabajadores trabajando y tener la ganancia que ellos tienen sus revenues. Por eso nosotros estamos poniendo este lawsuit en contra de estas personas. Pero eso no significa que es solo en contra de estas situaciones que están en el Signature en Grant y que están en el Guy Fieri a The Cesar Entertainment y que están en el Velacho en el Cesar Café, que es del NGN Resort. Seguimos continuando tomando evidencias y seguimos continuando cogiendo testimonios porque tenemos que proteger nosotros a los trabajadores, a su familia y a la comunidad. Sabemos que han completamente failing con esos procesos que tienen adentro, esas regulaciones no son para proteger al trabajador y esas alegaciones que tenemos vamos a ir a corte. Vamos a seguir luchando porque cada detrás de un trabajador hay una familia y esa familia no puede reparar su persona que perdió. Y nosotros sabemos de que es una lucha muy grande la que tenemos y no vamos a parar de luchar. Vamos a ir a corte y seguimos continuando cogiendo todos los statements y todas las evidencias.
Thank you. There was a question, how old was Adolfo Fernandez when he passed, and when did he pass away, Irma, if you don't mind answering?
Yes, my dad, he was 51 years old, and he passed away on Wednesday, June 24th.
We're so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Let's see, and then Irma, some Spanish language media is asking if you don't mind saying a few words in Spanish.
Yes. Pues mi nombre es Irma Fernández y soy la hija de Adolfo Fernández, que fue un empleado en Caesar's Palace. Él fue un utility porter. Mi papá fue una buena persona. Le ayudaba a todos siempre le ayudaba. Él siempre quería pelear por justicia para todos los trabajadores, no solamente para él. Él tenía un gran corazón, fue una gran persona, un gran amigo, un gran padre y un gran abuelo. Él siempre luchaba para seguir adelante y yo estoy aquí no solamente en memoria para mi papá, pero también para toda la gente que está en peligro trabajando, exponiéndose a ese virus, porque ese virus es algo muy feo. Las compañías tienen de proteger a sus empleados mucho más, porque todos tenemos familia, igual como ellos. Y yo no quisiera ver a otra persona sufrir como estamos sufriendo yo y mi familia. Mi papi se enfermó lentamente y murió. Y es algo muy duro. Y yo sé que hay muchísima gente que tiene familia que cuidar. Y por eso estoy aquí pidiendo justicia para toda la gente. Todos somos humanos. Toda la gente importa. Y por eso yo estoy aquí hablando y peleando por todas las vidas de la gente, no solamente en la memoria de mi papi. Gracias.
Thank you. Gio, a question. Do you think casino companies and the state moved too quickly to reopen the casinos this month? And going forward, should the state reconsider, should the state consider reclosing these casinos where workers have gotten infected?
What I think, we've been taking very long time to have a mandatory requirements. They opened the casino June 4, and I think at June 26, we had the mandatory mask. A lot of these workers, they was exposed to working with people who come over here with no mask. And they've been taking long time. The Gaming Control Board and the governor and the Clark County Commission, we've been asking before, long time ago, before the reopening, and we've been in the press constantly. I remind them, they are not only represent the employers, they represent the community, they represent the families. And these buildings, beautiful buildings we have, workers, they go to work and they want to work, but they want to work safe. And we're asking to all these leaders, because they elected leaders. And people like the Clark County Commission, people living in their districts, your people in your supermarket, or you see in the doctor office, or you see somewhere, they part of you, and now they left them behind. The state left them behind because the union not been fighting only for the culinary workers. We've been fighting for all the hospitality workers in the state, all the hospitality industry, all these casinos here, for they can have these mandatory requirements where we've been saying to have protection, prevention, have, PPE, have enforcement, deep cleaning, room daily cleaning, have everything for these workers. They come back and have a process where they can protect their workers and their families. Now we are in this situation. I remember when I heard the governor, and say, sadly, we lost 12. Well, now we have 19. And how many more are we going to have? The union now, we're doing this lawsuit with 3 places, and we have the lawsuit against the Sadel Cafe at the Bellagio, what is the NGN Resorts, the Guy Fieri at the Harrah Cesar Entertainment, and we have the Signature and the NGN Grand. But we're not gonna stop to getting statements and evidence, because this is a very serious COVID-19, very, very serious. This is a situation where you can get really, really sick, or you can die, and you contaminate people so easily too. You can transfer the virus so easy. We're going after, and we had this lawsuit, but we're not gonna start fighting. This is a community. Las Vegas is a community. We live here, people who go work in there. We don't have to thinking only in working the people and getting the revenues. We have to thinking every person over here in this panel have family, and they have kids, and they have husband, they have wife. People have parents, they have partners, they have roommates in home, they have grandmas, they have people with the immune system where they need the help. We're going to continue fighting. We do this fight legally with the lawsuit, but we're not going to stop fighting.
Thanks. I have a question for Sixto. If you could explain in Spanish, if you could, how this has impacted your family, not seeing your daughter, etc. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. Sí, hola, mi nombre es Sixto Cermeño. Yo trabajo para el Signature del MGM Grand. Ya tengo 10 años trabajando ahí. Y cuando yo empecé a trabajar, no nos hicieron examen para el COVID-19. Y yo trabajé 3 días completamente no teníamos suficiente trabajadores. Estábamos muy ocupados. Y los guests que teníamos, nadie tenía máscara, nadie estaba separado como deben estar, y no teníamos suficiente tiempo para limpiar. Tan ocupados como estamos, no hay tiempo para eso. Yo trabajé tres shifts. Después de mi tercero, en el cuarto día ya era un shift de la noche, toda la noche, de 11 a 7 de la mañana. Y ya llegando a la casa me dormí, me desperté con un dolor de cabeza, y cuando me desperté el dolor de la cabeza, luego me dormí otra vez, desperté con un dolor extremadamente fuerte de mi cuerpo, fiebre, un dolor de cabeza muy fuerte. Y es cuando yo fui a hacerme el examen para COVID-19, para ver si lo tenía o no. Yo ya tenía mucho miedo. Salí para el siguiente día, el día 11 de junio es cuando salí positivo. Y ya tengo, y yo ya le hablé a la compañía después para decirles que yo tenía la enfermedad, y mi manager no contestó la llamada, no contestaba la llamada. Entonces tuve que agarrar el número de teléfono de otro manager de otro departamento para poder tomarme en contacto de la compañía. Ya cuando hice contacto, me hablé con la general manager del hotel, del Signature, y ella me dijo que hable a Virtual Roster, que es la compañía que no trabaja para el MGM, pero es como un third party company que nos hace los schedules. Y ya cuando les hablé a ellos no sabían por qué les llamé, que ese no era el número. Ya me dieron el número correcto de la corporación para llamarles, y les expliqué. Yo les dije con quién yo me vine en contacto. Y me hablaron después, 2 días después, para preguntarme otra vez con quién vine en contacto. Y todo ese tiempo que yo ya sabía que estaba positivo, todo ese tiempo toda la gente que yo trabajé con siguieron trabajando, no los mandaron a hacer el examen. Todo ese tiempo otras gentes se podían enfermar, no limpiaron, no hicieron lo que debieran hacer. Yo vivo con mi hermano y mis 2 papás, que los 2 tienen diabetes, ya están grandes de edad, y se enferman. Sí, hice otro examen ahora, ojalá ya sale negativo. Yo tengo una hija de 9 años, yo no la he visto ya casi por un mes que ya va por un mes que no la he visto. Entonces me duele mucho no verla, la extraño mucho. Y nomás estamos peleando eso porque para las compañías hay muchas falsas promesas que hicieron, que no están haciendo lo que dijeron que iban a hacer. Y nomás estoy pidiendo para la salud de toda la gente que tenga mucho cuidado y no nomás hacemos un número, tenemos familias y esto está afectando a mucha gente está falleciendo, ya tenemos 489 fallecidos en este estado. Esos no son números, esos son familias. Gracias.
Yep.
Thank you. There's a question for Eric. Eric, let's see here. Did you get the impression that you keep working despite knowingly being around an infected person?
Yeah, when we found out that there was a person that tested positive within our kitchen, we finished our shift as the manager huddle was going on. From what I understand, the rest of the other shifts finished their shifts as well that same day we all found out.
Thank you. I have a question for Gioconda. Gio, what are your thoughts on the company's response to employees testing positive and the fact that these positive cases are not being reported to staff or the public?
I think they being completely responsible for me because you know they know this is a virus can transmit very easy and very contagious. And right now that's why we going to be you know, we're doing this lawsuit to these 3 properties, and we're going to go after every single thing, evidence, statements, because this is the people, workers, and no, behind every worker is every family. We feel like don't let it know the coworkers and don't trace incorrectly. The allegations we have right now, they are very they putting dangerous, you know, the workers in there. We have allegations with people they know being tracing and letting know the another coworkers. They know they have positive people working, and don't close places immediately. Shoot down the place where the workers they been positive. We have these allegations that we have. They are serious allegations, and that's why we put in this lawsuit.
Thank you. I have another question from the Review Journal. Are union members seeing outbreaks inside any strip casinos? If so, can you share more details?
Well, we know, you know, workers, they work with no mask from June 4th to June 26th, and they was, and the customers, the workers wear the mask, but the customers no was wearing mask. And we right now, whatever we way, we're moving in the direction to take care of. We've been fighting this before the reopening. We've been fighting before the reopening to have mandatory requirement by the state, not only for the union worker, for all the hospitality industry. And now we are in this point where we're losing 19 workers, 90 members and their families. This situation is incredible situation. We're looking for the leadership of the state. We're looking for that. We've been looking for that. And I know we put in the mask on the June 26th, but the mask is not enough. That's why, you know, we're putting a lawsuit right now for the situations we're facing. And we believe we have to asking again to the leadership of the state to look the people, they electing them. That's my question. You know, to every single politician, the Clark County Commission, they have their people who work in the industry living in their district, the governor, who is the governor of the state, and the look in this situation. We need this, and we while we're doing that, we're going to continue fighting. We're doing this lawsuit too.
Thank you. I think, let me just double check. Oh, another question is anyone planning on suing Cesar's given Adolfo Fernandez's death?
Right now, we're getting evidence and statements. So we're gonna, continue getting. This lawsuit we have right now. We have lawsuit for these 3 places, and like we say before, we open this press conference. We will continue getting evidence and statements.
Thank you. And I think the last question is there a casino company that has behaved more irresponsibly than others in your view?
Well, right now we have 3 situations where we have the signature NGN grant, where we have allegations they are putting in dangers in a hazardous condition. The workers in there are the signature at the NGN grant, and the same situation we have with the Sadel Cafe at the Bellagio with the NGN Resorts, and at the Guy Fieri at the Harrah's with the Cesar Entertainment Company. And we have this case right now, but we open to get a lot of more statements from workers. Like I said before, behind every worker is one family, and we're going to fight this. We're going to court, and we're going all the way. They violate our collective bargaining agreement because workers, they had to go in conditions where they know how to be hazardous.
Thank you. Question from the Associated Press. What action do you seek with the lawsuit?
Well, we're going to court, and the action we see, we had to figure out to stop this right away and figure out how to, this is a COVID-19 where people can get really, really sick. Okay, you can have a fatality and people die. And we're going to court for that because we cannot have people working in condition where they are working condition where they are hazardous condition for them. And going to work not have to be like in a stressful situation too, because we're not protecting ourselves and the place where we work. We're going to this lawsuit, but separate with that, we're going to continue the fight we have right now, because we need, this is not only for us, this lawsuit for the culinary workers, but we know we have a situation all over town.
Thank you. This ends the press conference.